Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Tully. This is the Josh Tully Show on the GCN Radio Network. If you want to be part of it today, 1-800-259-5791. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all those fun social sites, and, of course, the website, JoshTully.com, JoshTulley.com. While you're there, pick up a copy of Quit Your Job or Die, Discover the Importance of Self-Employment, because it truly is that important. Let's start with this. Democrats complain about the presence of a debt clock on Capitol Hill. This is from the Daily Caller. Some members of Congress apparently don't like to be reminded on how much debt the country continues to rack up. During a House Financial Services Committee hearing on Tuesday, two Democrats complained that House Financial Service Committee Chairman Jeb Hensarling instructed the two monitors in the hearing room to display a real-time running debt clock. Now, the two were Maxine Waters and Keith Ellison. And you're thinking to yourself, well, why would you not want the debt clock up there? And they're saying, well, this is just a political move. This is just political gamemanship. I mean, you're just putting this up as a prop designed to push an ideology. You know what? I think it should be up. I really do. And I think both parties should see it, because both parties are responsible for the $16.567 trillion that they've racked up in debt. They should be reminded. When they complain about something like this, it's like somebody who's on trial for murder not wanting to have the bloody pictures in the courtroom. No, you have to deal with it. I want you to see what you've created. And the fact that they want to avoid it just kind of amplifies the point that they know they did it. Oh, don't make us feel guilty about racking up debt that your great-great-great-great-grandchildren won't even be able to pay off. Don't make us feel guilty about that. Absolutely sick and tired of this. Now, of course, we're facing this sequester. And they're warning us, well, if this goes through, things are going to get bad. Matter of fact, Homeland Security is warning that, you know what? If this goes through, we won't be able to keep you safe. Janet Napolitano. Because this will cut primary functions. You know what? Let's use this as a teaching point for a second. The fact that she came out on the White House podium, of all places, to suggest that these cuts will impact security functions is a huge red flag to me. We've covered this in the past, how cities like Oakland, Detroit, New Orleans, and many others are starting to cut police forces. And they're saying, well, we're not going to respond to as many emergency calls. They're listing certain crimes that they're not going to respond to at all. Then it's all because of the budget. Meanwhile, they still keep their parks department, so obviously security is not that vitally important to them. And then you have Homeland Security that's doing the same thing. And on a small scale, what do we see the cities doing? We see crime increase, and then we see this rise of politicians clamoring for more federal money or federal troops. Oh, please help us, federal government. We can't keep our city safe. Yet they're still keeping the city-funded orchestra. Well, now we're seeing that on a large scale. Here, Napolitano is out there saying, well, you know what? We're not going to be able to keep you safe, and it's all because of the sequester. And the Democrats are blaming the Republicans. The Republicans are blaming the Democrats. We're the ones that are going to have to pay for this. Now, should we expect something bad to happen until they figure this financial mess out? Maybe. Maybe that's going to be used as a conduit to say, see, you should have increased our budget. If we had more money, we could have protected people. And don't put it past them, because we're already seeing that on a small scale in these cities. But how ridiculous is this notion that they created a financial mess and we're going to be the recipients of the bad outcome? Everybody should be booted out of Washington, D.C. Everybody. Every single person. Well, Josh, there's some good people. I don't care. Boot them all out. And if they're really good, let them win their spot back. But we need to clean house because this is absolutely ridiculous. They're scaring people. There are so many people writing in, Josh, are my Social Security checks not going to come? Josh, are my disability benefits going to be cut off? Josh, is the ambulance going to be there when I call it? This sequester has me scared, and they want you to be scared. In reality, we're going back to 2009 spending levels. That's all this is. But they have people so panicked. And then, of course, blaming the opposite parties. Oh, well, this is all Obama's fault. Even though I do not like the man, it's not all his fault. Because you guys stood by and let him spend the money. So don't give me that. You've allowed him to operate for 4 years now without a budget. Wasn't that your first red flag? Wasn't that the first thing that said, wait a second. We just let somebody run away with the American credit card. We don't even have a budget. And then we wonder how we got in such a dire financial situation? I mean, come on. I know you're smarter than that. Well, a lot of you are smarter than that. But the voting population, they have to be waking up to this fact. And that's why they're constantly instilling the fear. They don't want you to talk about the financial reality. They don't want you to talk about where they dropped the ball or where they're manipulating currency or where they're manipulating the economy. They don't want you talking about that. So instead, they're going to hit you over the next few days with a constant stream of this is how bad it could get. Yesterday we heard, well, there's going to be defense contractors in Virginia and Texas that are going to be laid off. Oh my goodness, some of these states are going to take such a hit. And today it's, well, we actually might not even be able to keep you safe. We're losing critical security functions, according to Janet. Isn't this really a great opportunity for us to wake up and say, you know what, it really comes down to us anyway. It really comes down to us. Because think about this. There's another story, and it's kind of related. It has nothing to do with the sequester itself. But it has to do with this idea of financial means. It's on Yahoo Finance. With advances in human mortality, scientists say 72 is the new 30. Yeah. And they looked at the lifespan of our caveman forefathers and determined that currently 72 is the equivalent of 30 then. And of course there's some interesting things in terms of science in the article, but at the end of the article, and this is the hook, it's the financial implications. What happens when you're living 30, 40 years beyond retirement? And for a lot of people that's entirely possible. You retire at 60, you think, okay, I got the nice federal pension, whatever I got going here. The fastest growing age group in this nation is the 100-plussers. Well, that's 40 years past 60. What are you going to do when you don't have the money? Now get this. At the end of the article, it says if the average lifespan by 2050, which, to be honest, is doable for a lot of us. If you're under 70 right now, it's doable. If the average lifespan by 2050 extends 3 more years, the cost will go up 50% more. Isn't it sad that we actually hope we die? We'll be back right after this.